All right, scientists, we are going to talk about the structure of the periodic table. Dmitri Mendeleev was the first scientist to notice the relationship between the elements. He is referred to as the father of the periodic table because he said the properties of the elements that were unknown could be predicted by the properties of elements around the missing element. So there were a lot of elements that hadn't been discovered or placed in the periodic table, but he was able to actually predict the properties of those missing elements before they were discovered. Today, the elements on the periodic table are arranged in order of increasing atomic number. You're going to hear that over and over again. The top number typically in each box on the periodic table is going to have that atomic number, and those go in order from left to right, going up from left to right. The vertical columns on the periodic table, I'm going to cover this up for just a minute. The vertical columns on the periodic table are called groups or families. There are 18 groups on the periodic table, and they're arranged that way because the elements in each group have similar properties. So if they're in the same column, they have similar properties to each other. The horizontal rows are called periods. There are 7 rows on the periodic table. Going from left to right, the pattern seen on the periodic table is highly reactive metals are first in group 1, less reactive metals, group 2 through 12. Then we have the semiconductor metalloids. Then we have highly reactive nonmetals. And group 18 is going to be non-reactive nonmetals. So on your periodic table, go ahead and write in the numbers here. These are your groups 1 through 18. So those denote the different columns. And then periods are going across from left to right. So first period all the way across, even though there's a blank space here. So period 2 starts there, but it goes all the way across here. Period 3 has a break, but then picks up back over here. Period 4 goes all the way across, and so on. All right, so what does the information in each box tell us? So the first number is typically the atomic number. That's the same as the number of protons in the nucleus of one atom of that element. The letter or letters are the chemical symbol. The first letter is always capitalized. And then this decimal number that's usually at the bottom of the box is going to be the atomic mass. So when we round this to a whole number, that's going to give us the protons plus the neutrons. So these are already added. So that's the sum of the number of protons and neutrons in the nucleus. All right, for this next part, I'm going to go over what is written in the blanks, and then you can pause and color code your copy. Make sure it looks just like mine. So starting on the left here, hydrogen is the only non-metal on the metal side. So we have all non-metals color-coded light blue in this version. All right, metals are on the left side of the stair step. So all of these orange are metals. So the table is predominantly metals. All right, the first thing really you want to always locate on your periodic table is where is the stair step, or it might be called a staircase or a zigzag. And that always starts with boron. So I've got it labeled. B is for boron. And then what I tell my students to do is just always underline boron. And then from there we go down, over, down, over, down, over, down. Now, these I have blacked out because we're not going to have these elements on our periodic table for the EOG at the end of the year. So while these elements actually do exist, they're in your time tracker, I just have them blacked out as not needing to know them, okay? So all the elements along this stair step that are touching this stair step are color-coded green. Those are metalloids. They have properties of both metals and non-metals. The only one that is touching the stair step that is not a metalloid is the one right under boron, aluminum. And aluminum, we know of aluminum foil. So that one's an easy one to remember, that that is a metal. So it is color-coded orange because aluminum is a metal. So you might get the question a lot, which element is touching the stair step that is not a metalloid? And that is going to be aluminum. All right, and then go ahead and fill in non-metals are on the right of the stair step. So after those metalloids, we have the non-metals in light blue. Metalloids are light green. So pause this if you need to finish coloring that. Make sure that's in the same colors. All right, and then over here, solid, liquids, and gases. All right, again, I numbered the groups here across the top, and I numbered the periods because it's easiest to find them first. So we labeled the liquids first. There's only 2 liquids on the entire periodic table. And when we say solid, liquid, gas, that means at room temperature. So at room temperature, there are 2 liquids on the entire periodic table. The first one we can find in period 6, group 12. And that is mercury. So you want to color that blue. The second liquid at room temperature is period 4. So you go all the way across period 4 and group 17 and color that one blue. All right, all the gases are all of group 18. Those are called the noble gases. The 2 elements above bromine, sorry, this one is bromine here in blue. The 2 above bromine are gases. The first 2 in groups 15 and 16 are gases. And then don't forget hydrogen. Hydrogen is that special element kind of set aside from everything else, and that is also a gas. All right, everything else, even the lanthanides and actinides, are going to be solids. So go ahead and color, pause the video, color code those. And again, don't forget, mercury and bromine are the only 2 liquids on the periodic table. And I've got these blacked out, so you can use a black colored pencil or your pencil and just black those out, because you're not going to need to know those for your EOG. All right, and then go ahead and finish these analysis questions or do them when your teacher allows for you to do those. Have a good day.